see always coming out. Yeah. That's what I thought.
You're on, by the way.
Hi everyone, how are you guys tonight? You guys are live here on the Brush by Brandy Facebook and Instagram pages. My name is Brandy. I am the owner and artisan behind Brush by Brandy. And behind my camera we have our special guest. My husband Sean is here to help answer questions. So you guys pop on as we go. Anything you think of, feel free to ask, and we will answer as we go along the way. And I also watch these back, and I'll answer your questions afterwards. Any ones that I miss, unless I don't know the answer, and then I'll probably ignore you.
Ghost you.
Yeah, I'm gonna ghost you. We have a special guest here with
Another
us
special
tonight.
guest.
Another special guest live in studio. We have one of my shippers is here. His name is Lauren, and he's in the background packaging up a whole bunch of my pieces. So if you're one of my customers who is waiting for your piece to arrive, Lauren is here packing them with care. He does an amazing job.
He does live questions on the air.
Yeah, we're gonna just do a live Q&A and put Lauren on the spot for the next hour. So you guys might hear him in the background packaging up my pieces. I had 9 pieces to go out in a shipment, and they're leaving today. They've been with me for a long time, but bye-bye. All right, you guys, so we are going to paint tonight, and I have a new paint that we're going to try out. So I wanted to tell you guys first, the reason that you haven't seen the videos and the final pieces with the brands that I've already been using is because I had this shipment that needed to leave so that I could photograph them. So now that it's going, I can photograph those pieces, which means I can edit the videos, which means I can start getting all that content out to you guys for the last 2 brands that we've used. So you guys can check those out, and they'll be on my YouTube channel in the coming weeks. I figure how it's going to work is kind of a nice break. We'll start in the new year with new content on new brands, and that'll be a really nice, clean break to get that content out to you guys. But tonight we're going to be using another brand that I haven't done yet, and I got to play with it, and it was really, really enjoyable. So the brand that we're going to use tonight is called I Love Hue. And these are their containers, and I have some amazing colors, but I wanted to show you guys 2 different finishes with their paint. And that's because when I was playing around with it, I wanted to see, number 1, how it would blend and how it would layer. So we're going to do both finishes on this same piece. I'm going to turn this to the side, and we're going to work on the side of it tonight. Okay, so let me tell you about how I prepped this piece before we get started. So this is a little Bombay chest. Let me show you guys what the original finish was. If I pull the drawer out, can you guys see this kind of black enamel finish? It is solid wood under there. Who's the maker on this? Pulaski. I think this is Pulaski Furniture, which is a nice brand. But it did have this enamel finish over the wood. So I did use a coat of a gripping primer. I cleaned it really well, scuffed it, and I did use a gripping primer because there's nothing on here to bond to. And so that's how I prepped it. And that is the recommendation with this paint. You want to make sure that you always clean your piece really well. Give it a scuff sanding so that paint has something to bite onto. Use a primer if you need to, either gripping or stain blocking primer, or Weisel has a nice combo product that's gripping and stain blocking in one. But that's what's under here. And then I gave it a single coat of paint. This is just my base. This is the rough coat that just, get the paint on there just for coverage. It's a really, kind of rough blend. So this is 1 coat of my I Love Hue paint, and we're going to put a second coat on it tonight. And I'm going to duplicate this blend, but I'm going to really clean it up. So what I would do before getting started on this second coat is I'm going to go ahead and give it just a light sanding. With that sanding sponge that I just found 5 seconds ago, this one right here.
What's this kind of furniture called?
This is a Bombay chest.
Is it the bombe?
Yeah, it's Bombay.
Yeah.
Bombay.
It's like a Canadian piece.
Bomba. So I'm just going to give it just that little light brushing that I like to do in between my coats. I promise you guys, it's called sanding. I know I have to call it, I do sand between coats, but I mean, I'm not getting out my power sand. You guys saw that was literally, what, 30 seconds of sanding? And then I am missing a Mr. bottle. I knew I'd forget something. It's too good to be true that I would actually remember all my stuff. I try, guys. I really try. I had 2 of them on the floor over there. There we go. I'm going to tap this dust off with a little bit of water. And we are going to blend with this paint, okay? So the brushes that I'm going to use, I'm going to go ahead and use my Klingon brushes for this. And I'm getting more and more used to the S50. It's the Klingon brush that I've been using more and more. So I've got a couple of these out. And then just some random guys. Klingon, I also am really enjoying these are Stahlmeister brushes, but they're really soft, luxurious brushes. These were one of my favorites for a long time. I've had this brush. You can tell it's well loved. Very nice brushes. Those are Stahlmeister. And then the 3 colors that I'm using from I Love Hue for this blend are, my nose is running, sorry guys, Tuxedo, Tuxedo, which is this, it's kind of a soft black. It's got a little bit of warm undertones to it. Kind of a really classy, nice, soft black. And then my medium tone is going to be Chocolate Raspberry Truffle. How cute is that name? So I've got Chocolate Raspberry Truffle, Tuxedo, and Gypsy Magic. So this is my 3 color blend right here that we're gonna do. So I'm gonna start with my darkest color, which is the Tuxedo. And this is gonna go along the bottom of my piece. That's where I'm gonna keep my darkest section to. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my Klingon brush, and I'm going to kind of brush down here on this trim. Now, I think the final look that I'm going to do on this piece is actually the look that's on the front, because I really like the layering of this.
What's the paint again?
This is called I Love Hue. I like your eyeball. Love and hue, like a paint color hue. But I got to play with it last night. So this is a chalky style paint. Okay, it does dry with that matte chalky finish that you're going to be used to. They do have a clear coat in their line. It works well with water. It blends extremely well, you guys. It's a little cold because I have my door open right now.
No, sorry, Jamie. Multitasking.
So my paint's a little cold right now. I'm just using a little bit of water because of the temperature of the paint actually really matters, and it is cold, so it kind of thickens the paint. So this paint can do your smooth, even finishes. It can do, you know, rough texture. It can do aged looks. It is that very chalky style finish. And this is actually, that's my preference. That's what the type of paint that I love working for. And the difference would be, as opposed to like an all-in-one style paint, you know, that does those smooth, even, clean finishes really well. This can do them, but it also will do that layering, texture, all those things too. So I just kind of framed out like a basic U shape in the Tuxedo. And now I'm going to come back with the Chocolate Raspberry Truffle. It's such a pretty color. It's kind of plummy purpley, but it also leans a little brown. And I'm going to go right inside, and I'm just going to brush it right in. So this paint actually blended amazingly well. Probably one of the easiest that I've used. It's friendly to use with other brands, and so I thought that was kind of cool because you'll see the look that I'm going to do on the front is a multicolored layer finish, where you could use a variety of colors if you didn't have all the ones that I'm going to use on the front. So I'm not adding any water. I did a little mist when I first put this layer on, but now I'm just brushing it into that Tuxedo just around these very edges. Okay, super simple. And I just worked those colors together. I'm going to get up underneath this lip right here.
No lip.
Yes, lip. Always lip. Because Lauren's over here looking at my pieces from upside down, and he's going to pay attention to if I didn't finish up under there. I know he's judging as we speak.
And cobwebs.
Yeah, I call those spider babies. The spider babies that live underneath all the pieces. Make sure you get the spider babies, guys. Lauren doesn't want to travel with them. Yeah, where did I put my third color? Here it is.
Commuter lane?
Yeah, it's a carpool with the spider babies. Alright, and my third color is this Gypsy Magic.
And what size is that container? Like, for instance, your Tuxedo Hub?
Yeah, what size are these? These are the smaller sizes that they offer. I want to say this is... Oh, it doesn't say on here. Well, here, let's see. These are 16 ounce, so I'm going to guess that's an 8 ounce. just a different shape container. So that does look like an 8-ounce container because these are 16s. So they come in 2 sizes. This is the same line, but this is their Renewed Spirit Home collection. And she's an artist and has a paint line with them. So now I grabbed my Stallmeister brush and I'm just using kind of random brushes. They're my nice soft, full, flat brushes. And I just brush a little bit of that into the center here. And I'm just gonna work this together. Once I've got my basic shape, this is gonna go amazingly easy. And you guys are gonna be like, I can't believe I even watched this on camera.
I can't believe I watched this on camera.
I know, Sean's bored right now. And then I'm gonna take my brush from my medium color, which was that Raspberry Truffle. That I just set on the carpet, so I got a hair in it. Okay, one thing I liked about this paint is I was able to move it a lot and I don't have to keep wetting it. Okay, so once I have these kind of worked to where I want, you guys know I like to have a dry neutral brush that I use for blending. Where is a good dry neutral brush? How about this guy right here? Random Worcester brush. I'm in the random brush phase right now. And I'm just gonna brush around where these meet up.
Thank you for all the input on here. I keep running back and forth.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
I appreciate that.
Sean is helping my carrier right now at the same time. So any questions I missed, but I think I talked to, so Kelly is the owner of I Love Hue, and she is a painter, which I always appreciate because I think when the brand owners are painters, they really understand what we look for in a paint. And Kelly's the owner of Whimsical. I always want to say whimsical, but it's Whimsical. Whimsy.
I'm giving the people what they want. Your face is cut out.
Yeah,
I'm using
sorry.
the paint here. Sorry.
Okay, so can you guys see? I just went around those edges with a clean, dry brush, and I just brushed those together.
Barbara says, thank you for saying Worcester correctly. She lives in Worcester, Ohio.
How do you say Worcester incorrectly? That's what I want to know. Worcester? All right, and then I got a little bit of my lighter color here, so I'm just going to clean that up because I want these edges nice and dark. I like a lot of contrast when I'm blending. I like my darks to be dark and my lights to be light. So I just clean those up at the end. Okay, I just blended the entire side of this piece in, what was that, 5 minutes?
Oh, I could have told you what brand it is. There's a tag on the back. Pulaski.
Pulaski. Okay, I said it right. Okay, you know what I always think of when I think of Pulaski is who I always had Pulaski on. Let's Make a Deal. With Drew,
I'm glad you always think about it.
Drew Carey. What's that?
Price is Right?
Price is Right. Always
Price
had
is Wrong?
Pulaski furniture. Yeah, that's what I always think of. So it must be good if it was on Price is Right, right? All right, so that was 3 colors, you guys. Tuxedo, chocolate raspberry truffle, and
And the one on your hand.
and Gypsy Magic.
And the name of the brand again?
This is I Love Hue, and I just did that in about 5 minutes. I'm really happy with it, honestly. It's a really pretty blend. Can't tell if that's my shadow. Oh, it's the tripod shadow that I'm seeing. I didn't use any super crazy brushes. I chose, they were all 3 kind of random brushes. Let me show you guys what they were. I used a Worcester, 2 Klingons, and then I used a Stallmeister. So I ended up with a brush for each color and then my dry neutral brush that I brushed them together with, and it's beautiful. So how I'm going to explain this to you guys, and this might sound really weird, this paint gets a little, it gets a little tacky, like kind of sticky, where I can pull the colors into each other. It doesn't pull the paint, but the paint stays moving, and it just kind of firms up a little bit where I can brush them into each other. It was a really different experience for me. It made blending with it really, really, really easy. So I don't know how to explain it, but it stays in play long enough, but it just thickens enough that you can keep moving those colors together, but they stay nice and thick. So that's what I mean when I'm saying sticky. I'm using the term sticky. I mean that it gets nice and thick where you can kind of work the colors together without adding any water. I didn't add any water to this blend. I only added it when I was putting the initial colors on just to get the coverage over the top. So it was probably one of the easiest blenders that I've used in a long time. by far. So I want to give that accolade to I Love Hue. All right. So I mean, that was easy, right? I told you guys that I want to do the finish that we did on the front, which is this layered finish here, and I'm going to show you this in a minute. But even though I have that blended purple under there and you don't really see it, it still matters in this finish because under these layers, I've got spots of the purple. And if Sean wants to come in kind of close,
don't really.
He can show you guys how that purple peeks through on my layers. And then because I had that kind of light highlight in the middle with my blending, it allows the darker edges to look darker. I've got the darker purple around the edges. So all that blending, it does matter in this finish, even though I went over the top, because it adds to the layers. So either one of these would be a really pretty finish, just leaving the blend alone, but we're gonna add some layers to it. So for that, I'm gonna turn this to the side, the other side, and we're gonna add some layers over the top of that blend. Yes, this is my good side. Or was it this one? I forget. All right, so let me show you guys the front of this piece. I feel like it kind of looks a little bit like an oil slick. You can kind of see the purples and the blues and the yellows.
I'm just sit and let the camera try to
kind of
pick up on that.
Focuses. But let me tell you guys what I plan to do to finish this look off. I had 2 stencils and I was kind of in between on which one I wanted to use to finish this off. This is one of them, and these are both from Posh Chalk. I'll throw a link up. I forgot to put the link on there. So when I get off, I will throw the link up for Posh Chalk, which is also Would You Bend, you guys. You guys see me use Would You Bend a lot. And these were 2 stencils I considered. So this one has kind of this scalloped edge. My vision for this little Bombay chest is kind of a Moroccan feel. You guys
Emily
see it?
says it looks like the Northern Lights.
Yes, yes, kind of, but like
Really
an
does.
abstract version, and I'm all about the abstract. Is it Emily from Weathered Hearts? Oh, Emily, I saw your lavender painting, and I was watching you do it, but I was super impressed with how it turned out. Emily from Weathered Heart Designs just did a painting of a lavender field, and it's really pretty, but seeing it come together and then seeing the end result, I was really impressed with it. So I debated whether I wanted to trim out these drawers in kind of the scallop design here, and you guys can tell me which one you think. Whether I should put this kind of maybe running along the bottom of each of the 3 drawers, or if I do something more abstract and I just kind of put this mandala stencil kind of peeking in the corner. It's going to be a worn stencil look. So not a complete stencil, but just I'm going to hit the edges, some places stronger than others. I will have a YouTube video on this, and I explained to you guys a little bit why I'm a little behind on my YouTube videos right now. So either that, or I put this mandala stencil peeking in from this corner, and maybe another one kind of peeking in this corner, and then wrap the sides of it. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you guys think this look here, or do you guys think the trim on the bottom of the drawers? I'll wait till you guys, I don't know. I don't know my answer yet, but we're going to turn to the other side where I have the dry blend on this piece. This is exactly what I just showed you on the front. Can you see that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, and so for this, because I'm going to be using different colors, I'm going to switch to some different brushes. And the brushes that I'm choosing are these guys here from Posh Chalk. These are really, really cool brushes. They're super soft. And you guys will see in a minute because I plan to use them for this kind of layering.
Don't you need paint on that?
No, we're just gonna imagine we're painting tonight. It's much easier, trust me. But you guys can kind of see how this would like sweep.
If you're gonna do that, there's a whole floor over here.
All right.
Paint the mandala wins.
So because I'm layering, this has quite a few more colors. So I'm gonna open these colors and I'm gonna tell you as I'm going through what the names are. There's quite a few here though. All right, so I'm gonna use the tuxedo that we used on the front. That's gonna be one of my dark colors. Mm-hmm. Who's on?
Kelly is.
Hey Kelly, thank you.
10% off coupon.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
She just threw it on there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
pay attention.
You guys, if you use the link that I put above in the post, you can find the I Love Hue website. That'll take you to their site. And you can check out all the paint. And then Kelly just threw a coupon code in the thread. Bam. That's amazing. Thank you, Kelly. Now I'm distracted.
Just sneak it up.
That's awesome. Okay, so tuxedo was our first color. Then I'm using a dark green, an olive green called Stony Creek. I will list all these too. Cactus green. There's quite a few. Fortune Sage. I'm staying in the very green, brown, blue range.
I really hope that's fortune and not fortune, because otherwise that's me.
Well, fortune. Fortunes. This one's called Olive Hue, and it's kind of a limey green. One thing I did notice about this paint is you do want to make sure you shake it before you open the container. Just give it a good shake. So this is an acrylic chalk mineral paint. Okay, so it does have that acrylic. It does dry to this matte chalky finish. One thing I liked about it is that even on this dark color though, you know, usually when you touch dark colors, it gets that kind of chalky, will leave like fingerprints and stuff, and I didn't really notice a lot of that. So they also have a clear coat that you could put over the top of this. I'm not quite to that stage yet. All right, this is a creamy white, kind of a beige, burlap kind of color called Huck and Finn. And then Bohemian Jewel. Whoa. So we are just going to brush these kind of at random, and I'll tell you which one I'm dipping into before I dip into them. I use the tiniest bit of Traveler's Gold. See what I mean? It's a lot, right? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And I have two of these brushes out, and I'm gonna kind of dedicate these to a dark brush and a light brush. All right, so you guys are gonna keep seeing me dip into my paints, and I'm gonna reuse the same brush. So I'm gonna dip into the paint, just the tips of the bristles, and then I lay them off onto the side. So I really have very little paint on that brush because I wanna get this kind of textured feel. And you guys will notice that on the front, my darker colors are around the edges of my finish.
So Llewellyn is on.
Hi,
Sheila just got
Llewellyn.
on.
Hey, Sheila, welcome. Sheila, we never can get started until you're on.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, but we got started. Just tonight, though. That never happens. All right, so here I'm going to come down from the top, and I'm going to kind of cross-thatch this darker color in. I'm starting with Tuxedo, which is
really light for the
which is
camera
my
to get in
darkest
there.
color. So one thing I take into consideration when I'm layering paint is I kind of want to build up the layers with the darkest colors on the bottom, and then they get lighter as I go to the top. Because if I do the opposite, what's going to happen? I'm going to cover up my lighter colors.
don't do that.
So I just keep dipping in. I keep going back to the well and getting those tips of my bristles, and then I'll refill it again. And I'm going to do kind of one color at a time. So I'm mostly focusing on the edges because I don't really want the center of this to be too dark. Although I'm going to hit it with just a little bit, just so it adds a layer. Layering is exactly that. You're just going to keep going. And there's so little paint that I'm putting on with each of these brush strokes that it dries really fast. And then each one, I'm pretty much taking off everything that my brush even had. So even though it looks like there's paint on there, I mean, I've worked that until there is nothing coming off of that brush. So even when I go back and I dip into the next color when I'm ready to change colors, it doesn't contaminate because there was barely anything on and I laid it all off before going back. All right, so that's my darkest color, which was Tuxedo. Let's switch to this dark olive green color. And I'm gonna kind of go work my way down through the colors from darkest to lightest. But each one of these layers matters. It builds up so you get this, you know, little bits of color peeking through from the next one. These random textures of brush strokes gives this kind of woven look, but I work them so they're not super streaky. You can see how I brush back through it. Kind of softens the brush strokes a little bit. Not using any water. And I put this olive green color, I'm going to call it olive green, but the name of it is Stony Creek. This is from the this is Indigo Creek collection.
Feel free to use brushed 10.
Ooh,
It's the coupon code.
Ooh, that's a coupon
Nita's
code?
been throwing it on there. She's helped me out.
Even better.
Multiple times.
All right, you guys, if you missed it, Kelly, who's the owner of I Love You, dropped a coupon code for 10% off, and you can use the link that I put in the post to find their website. And Brush 10, which is like the best coupon code, right?
Huh?
You can, yeah, exactly. You can use that for 10% off if you want to try I Love You. I love that it does come in the various sizes, the 8 and the 16 ounce. All right, so I did the same thing. I've gone through and now I've got my layer of the Stony Creek, which is this olive green. It's over the top of the tuxedo. Now I get to move on to my next color.
Moving on.
All right, so next I'm gonna go to this kind of medium green color.
No, Sheila, we haven't touched water.
Which is called Cactus Green. No water. I actually want my brush to be nice and dry because it's, I mean, I have no paint on there. Like I could get some off. And that's why when I go back, like, and I keep switching between colors, I'm not contaminating my colors because I've laid off everything I can lay off from this brush. All right, so now I'm getting into where the contrast is greater and you can see this color show up a little bit more. So I'm gonna stay away from the edges. Each time I'm gonna stop going all the way out to the edge quite as much. It looks like it accidentally gets lighter as I go to the middle, but it's all very deliberate. It's like I have a plan. It's like
What?
I know what I'm doing.
Whoa.
I know.
Let's not get too...
You wanna go that far?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
very...
what brush is this?
These are from Posh Chalk. These are from Posh Chalk. I'll throw a link up for Posh Chalk too. That was the company that I showed you there. I'm going to use their stencil. That's Would You Bend. They also have a line of accessory products from that's called Posh Chalk. A lot of metallic pastes and stuff, and I'm going to use that for the stencil that I put over top of this finish. All right, so that color is a little bit lighter, so I went into the middle more. And very little on my outer edges, but I want a little bit because I still want that, you know, that nice contrast that it gives. As the brush gets drier and drier, it starts just kind of layering the color a little bit, but not giving me full brush strokes. All right, let's go ahead and use some of this bright blue color, which is called Bohemian Jewel. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm just going to start layering the colors. I want this purple that's underneath to peek through. It does peek through a little bit. If I feel like I got too much of any one color in a spot, the nice thing is I can just come layer over the top and I can bring back whatever color I feel like I lost by putting too much over the top of it. So can you see why this brush is friendly to doing this finish with? It's very light and wispy. Just keep going back to the well, and I just kind of sit all these containers open on the floor with me, and just, it doesn't really matter. You know, what particular order you dip into them in.
Sheila wants me to start dipping my finger in the paint so you can see it.
It's, all right, you want to dip your finger in the paint?
Not really. You can.
You can kind of see the consistency. It's not super thick. You guys are used to seeing me have to use a lot of water with thick paint. This is not like that. Has great coverage, excellent coverage. I'm going to go back to this dark color here because I'm going to just kind of layer a little bit of that over the top. This is Tuxedo again. I'm using one brush. I want to make sure these outer edges stay in these dark tones. So I just kind of true them up every once in a while. Just hit it with a little tiny bit of those dark wispies around the edges. Just make sure they stay nice and dark.
Ooh, wispies.
As I get to the center, you're going to see I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to hit it with more of the light colors. And that's how I get this kind of highlight in the center. It's still layered. It's just more of the lighter colors. So as I'm getting to the center, remember I told you I was going to have basically what I consider a dark brush. I think these are kind of my dark colors, and I'm ready to go into and hit, I'm going to call this my light brush. I'm going to do the same thing. And that's just because I don't want to muddy it up too much. I want these colors to stay nice and bright. This color is that cactus green. Oh, I'm sorry, olive hue. Olive hue.
And the code again is
Brandy
10.
10. Brandy. Oh, what's that? The password is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like game show.
Jokes on this side
Yeah.
of the camera, please. Thank you.
All right, this one I really like because when this is layered, this olive hue is layered with this teal blue Bohemian Jewel. Those two together are what kind of give you this like that. Who was it that said Northern
Heather.
Lights? Was that
Emily.
Emily? I couldn't remember if it was Emily or Llewellyn. So those two together, that teal blue and that kind of rich jewel green color, are what really give that Northern Lights feel kind of to the center of this. I can still see all my little purples peeking through. Okay, now I'm going to go to this burlap color, which is just a little bit of a light beige. It's going to come out, it's going to look like a white, and I'm going to go really light on this because I don't want to lighten it too much.
How do you keep your nails so well done in all this?
It's a labor of love, guys. It's a labor of love. You know, like you just kind of have those things that bother you. Like I can't handle if my hands look gross. But I do my nails every week, once a week.
Faye, I like to pretend I could paint.
And
I do not paint in my sleep.
I also want to give a shout out because the polish that I use is a big part of that. And trust me, I have them all. This is the best polish for how much my hands work. It's Essie, E-S-S-I-E, their gel collection. It doesn't require a light or anything crazy like that.
Oh yeah, I use them all the time.
Yeah, Sean highly recommends the Essie gel collection. It's a durable polish. It means it lasts me through the week, and I paint every day. Okay, this is a light green. This light
back
green
off
is
a
Fortune
little because the
Sage.
camera won't focus.
Oh yeah, because I have a lot going on here.
Yeah, you do. Oh, on the piece, yeah. That too.
Yeah, I mean here.
Yeah, got a lot going on there.
We'll focus
Hello.
here. All right, so I went rounds through all my paint colors one time, right? And I like this look. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do that on repeat. Are we on time? Yep, so I'm gonna come back.
Oh, you take as much time as you like.
Yeah, this is my page. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do it on repeat. Okay, so I'm gonna go back through my colors again. It's that layering process. So I've got my base. My base was that blended coat of the purples, and that gave me all the coverage I need, right? So this is just my decorative finishes, but I'm gonna do this twice. Because each one of these layers matters. It's that building up effect. And
it all matters.
It dries super fast too, so I can come back and already these colors are pretty dry. Like I'm not smearing them, and I can just re-add and build those layers up again. So I'm starting with the tuxedo, which is my dark colors. I went back to my dark brush, what I'm calling my dark brush.
No, brush 10, not brush 19.
19% off.
You get 19 and you get 19.
All right there, Oprah. Easy there.
Reach under your chair. I'm still.
Oh, there's nothing there? Shoot. All right.
Dang it.
We will call...
Bills, and bills.
We'll call our guy ASAP. He was supposed to sneak...
I'm waiting for new car keys, not my same old ones.
Yeah. Oh, there's my sunglasses.
Dang it.
Yeah. He was supposed to sneak into all of your houses and leave stuff around your chair. All right, so this is that dark olive green color. Can you guys kind of get an idea for how this starts to build up layers and you end up with, I mean, I get full coverage. And I think on this second coat, I have to do less because I just kind of hit it where I feel like I need to, you know, add a little bit more. So it doesn't take nearly as long going back through this again.
What's going on with that there yellow?
I did do a little bit of the yellow, but I'm going to save it at the very end because it's so little that I want. If I start building it up, it overpowers very quickly. It's a very bright yellow. All right, so that was my greens.
Brush 10. Nita's correcting me now. Thank you. Okay.
This is that teal blue color, and I like this just like peeking through. This is really pretty with the purple.
Tracy, this is my new nightstand. No.
This one will be available, so if you love it and you cannot resist, message me and I will be selling this one. When it is complete, somebody gets to take home.
Sheila wants to know if it's too late to go grab snackies. Sheila, you only been on for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, didn't you bring snackies?
Come on now.
I'm going to get off in a few minutes. Try not to make these too long. All right, and then this is that bright lime green color. I've got really nice built up. I feel like that might be kind of a lot, so I may need to come back and kind of counter that a little bit. I just got a little heavy, or I just made another one and that kind of evens it out a little bit. Then it looks a little more deliberate.
I have snacks under my couch. Sounds like my kids.
Instead of paint discounts.
Called the reserve.
Yeah. All right, this is my burlap color.
Now, when you paint, when you do this type of painting with your cross hatching and whatnot, do you have issues with brush strokes on the back side of the piece? And if so, how do you clean that up?
No. It's so little paint, you guys. I have barely any paint on this brush. Barely any paint. There's not even enough. If I do this, there's nothing on here to take off. It looks like it's got paint on it, but I promise you there is nothing that's coming off of this brush. I'm laying off everything I've got each time I go across my piece, and I'm taking it full.
I don't like when you say lay off. It makes me scared.
Yeah. You're gonna get a phone call.
Oh, wait a minute.
All right, now I'm gonna do the bright yellow because it's kind of like my grand finale. Let me shake this one a little bit.
We gotta pay for sound effects.
Yeah.
They're not very good.
The horn,
We haven't budgeted those
the
in
horn
yet.
Guy,
Yeah.
The one-man band in the background.
That was not a French horn.
All right, so I just shook that up a little bit. It had separated a little bit in the container. The minerals in the paint with the acrylic, and I'm gonna lay that off. I want super little. This yellow is really bold, and I just want a tiny bit of it. But it adds just this kind of like a background glow to the greens and the blues.
Oh, yeah, we need like firework effects. That's true.
Pew, pew, pew. No?
Was that a water gun?
Just a little bit of the yellow is all I need. Okay? And it just makes kind of the center just glow a little bit. All right. I may go back through and just add a little bit, like I didn't get down here on this very bottom, and I do want to layer those darker colors. And then I've got a couple spots.
Sheila found some jerky. Now Fireball June's talking about jerky. Oh man.
Can I tell you guys something? When you guys say that, our cat's name, our cat is named.
Why is he named?
What? Is named.
Let's go through this. Story time. How about that?
Sounds awful. I love him.
Okay, what?
He's the best cat.
What about this beloved cat?
His name is Turkey Jerky.
What?
His name is.
So it was.
People are gonna think
it just grows.
They're gonna think I'm
Here we
a
go.
bad person.
Everybody, get your phones ready. Okay,
I'm doing another layer of the dark just around the edges. Okay.
So what about this cat? This beloved cat.
We brought him home. He's the best cat. Siamese cat, amazing cat, and best
affectionately named.
Yes. Affectionately named Jerkface. But we call him Jerky. Turkey Jerky.
So let's start. Simple. How did he get Jerkface?
When you tell me you found jerky under your chair, I'm kind of worried my cat got out.
I like being on the set of the camera. So, how did he acquire this beloved name?
If you look at my cat all the time, he just has
like a resting
RBF.
Yep.
RBF all the time.
If you don't know,
yeah,
you know.
Google it.
Yeah, Google that.
It.
And sorry for your search history.
My cat has RBF, and so we call him he just has a jerk face. He just looks like.
What was his real name? His initial?
We started out naming him Stitch.
It's so close.
Like Lilo and Stitch.
So close.
But nobody's ever called him that. We always call him Jerky. So we call him Turkey Jerky. And he's the best cat.
Let's get back to
painting.
painting.
So anyway, don't talk about finding jerky
Let's
under
get
your
it.
chair.
What about this paint?
Because I'm worried that my cat got out. All right, I like that. What do you guys think? That's kind of, I would call this good. But you can keep going on this. And remember, I always tell you when you should stop is about 5 minutes before you actually stop. But you can keep going on this, and I've still got all those shades of purple are peeking through. You want to get up close on that? Can you see that really good?
This paint?
I'm gonna put the lids on these so Sean doesn't spill them.
Oh yes, I'm the one you have to worry about. Let's pull back here for a second. Hold on.
Don't look at the rug.
Hold on. We're gonna
Don't
do
look
this.
at the
We're
floor.
gonna do this.
Wait, look at the paint. They
No,
wanna
I
see the
will.
paint.
Oh, I'm coming back. But she's worried about me spilling paint. Where's that one that? Oh, it's hidden by the
under
piece.
piece.
You demon.
So you can try to accuse me of whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back through, and now I've got this side, I've got the front done, and I'm going to go back through and I'll do the other side that we added the blended finish on. And I'm going to do that same kind of layering over the top. It'll get some waxes.
That was a good movie.
Waxes?
Over the top.
Oh.
Stallone.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Arm wrestling.
So that sounds like when I slept through. Arm wrestling with Stallone. Sounds fabulous. Please.
Oscar winner.
All right, so I'll kind of emphasize this a little bit with some dark waxes, like some black wax just in the corners. A little bit of my stenciling, which again, the options I had, I kind of like this guy. I'm kind of leaning towards this guy, just a really faded, like aged stencil look. Just peeking through on some of the corners.
So you know where I go is where I mentally go when you're like, oh, it's gonna be over here, and then it's gonna be over here. Tommy boy.
Wow, you are full of
I know,
good
I'm full
movies.
of it.
Yeah,
Woo!
I sleep a lot for movies. All right, so what do you guys think? I'm gonna darken up this edge right here. I want to keep this nice and dark. Eyes watering. And then the only thing I'm stuck on this one is the hardware was just ugly wooden knobs. I'm definitely not going back to wooden knobs. I want to find something very, I don't know, gold and kind of bold. Like I want that really old Moroccan feel for this piece. And so I'll have to find the right hardware. I wish I could tell you what it's going to be right now, but I don't know. I need to go through my collection. It may not even be in there.
Oh,
though.
wait. You know what I forgot? Oh, look! Down there!
This is Wisel paint right here. The color is called Poseidon.
Great coverage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it looks beautiful. Highly recommend it. I saved as much of it as I could. All right, you guys. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? I thought this paint blended incredibly well. Incredibly well. Like, probably one of the easiest blenders I've used. The coverage was great on it. It is a chalky style paint, so you know, I could choose to leave it like this if I wanted to. There's no harm done if I like this chalky finish, but I am going to put a clear coat over the top of this, the I Love Hue clear coat. This is their clear coat here. This is their satin clear coat. So I will put that on there. Now, one thing I will say is it does dry on my piece lighter than it was in the container, and that's the minerals in the paint kind of dry out and they lose their color. It's like clay. This is not a clay paint though. When it dries and the color lightens and then you get it wet and the color comes back again. When I seal this, these colors are going to be these rich, vivid tones are going to come back to the paint again. So this is going to be even deeper when I seal this paint. It did get lighter. Let's see if I can do a little spot and kind of show you guys what I mean. You know, I got to show you what it looks like sealed. Wish I had a sponge, but I don't, so I'll have to use a brush. All right, I'm just going to take one of my Klingon brushes and we'll just do the center drawer right here.
And go.
I'll just do half of it.
Happy clouds.
So this is just the I Love Hue clear coat. And I'm hoping you guys can tell the difference on camera if I just do
trying to
half
move
this
things
drawer.
so I can get everybody in there.
I'm just brushing it on with a Klingon brush, but it just kind of brightens the colors up a little bit. They just get more saturated. And I usually do 2 coats of this on the body, 2 coats of clear coat on the body. You can use a brush, or if you have a sponge, you can sponge it on too. I'd probably use a sponge because this is a fairly flat front, and I would do this after I put my my stencil on that's gonna go. All right, so I can tell in person, these colors are much, much richer. This is a little more white, a little more, I don't know, chalky looking, and when I put that clear coat over top, yeah, it's not even about the sheen. It's more about how it just richens the pigments of the paint once you seal it. I could see this paint loving an oil-based wax. I'm using the I Love Hue clear coat here, but I could see this getting really, really pretty with an oil-based wax too. All right, so I did about to the midpoint. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference, but I can in person. Just kind of made those colors come to life.
Now you just need to hurry up. Sheila ran out of coffee.
Oh, all right, Sheila, I'm getting off.
Shot caller.
All right, so what do you guys think? Do you guys like the layered finish, or do you guys like the blended look better? I'll turn it so you guys can see the blending on this one too. This was our side that we blended when I first got on. It's still a little wet.
Sorry,
really,
guys,
really,
adjusting.
really pretty blend, and I love, love, love the color combination. Those rich plums and purples.
Odor.
No,
Any odor?
When you open the containers, there's a slight odor that you notice. It's a low VOC paint. So when you open it, it kind of has an earthy smell to it, like it's the minerals in the paint. It's a chalky style paint. So not strong and pungent at all, just a kind of a natural light. You're gonna make me open it and sniff it now. Which is probably a weird thing to do. Yeah, it smells like, oh gosh.
It smells like
it smells
fresh
kinda
Floridian
clean
sunsets.
and crisp, but like a earthy kind of smell. Not strong and pungent at all. It's not like patchouli or anything.
Gosh. Well, glad that's out of the way now.
Yeah, a very light odor. I don't find it offensive at all.
I feel like, you know, when you mention things like patchouli, like somebody's back there handing you word cards to fit into the program.
random
Like, see how
thoughts I
you
have.
can, yeah. See if you can make this work.
I wish I knew. Here, what comes
Not
to your
good.
mind? Don't just try it and tell me what
I already
comes to
said
your mind.
Floridian sunsets.
It's not like scented. Don't smell the paint. Do you have anything you think of?
Just like it's so minimal.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it's very not strong and not offensive at all. Very mild. I probably wouldn't even notice it, except people are asking about it. So.
Sheila, you probably want a refund. Did the Columborns get the Christmas
it's
card?
It's not a high. It's a low VOC paint. You know, you can use it in indoors. It's very not offensive at all.
Sheila had a very
Same thing
important
with the
question.
clear coat.
Did the Columborns get her Christmas card that had $100 inside of it?
Oh, the mailman must have stole it again.
So weird.
Again, Sheila. Every year he takes our Christmas cards.
He smells like
Don't
patchouli.
worry. I'll file a complaint with the U.S. Postal Service. All right, you guys. I'm going to pop off. I will get all this on a YouTube video for you guys too. Thank you so much to I Love Hue. I thought it was a beautiful paint. My favorite things about it are the blendability of it. Just the workability of it was amazing. I do like the finish on it is really nice and pretty and soft. It's that chalky style paint that I love working with. So it was a very easy paint to work with. All right, you guys, there is a coupon code in the thread. So if you didn't already catch that, Brandy 10 will get you 10% off at the link that I put.
Was it Brandy 10 or Brush 10?
Oh, was it Brush 10?
It might have been Brush 10.
All right.
Now I'm all confused.
Now I'll go back and read that. Either
Sorry,
Brandy 10
guys.
or Brush 10.
Phrase of the night. Sorry, guys.
But that'll get you 10% off at the link I put above in the post. So you guys check them out. And again, thank you. I'll get you guys a YouTube video on this all finished once I get it put together.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year! This is our last live of the old year, 2021. I know
This year
we're all sad to see it go.
Thank you, Nita. Brushed 10.
Brush 10.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
I will get you guys out a YouTube video. It'll be a little bit of my old content still going out, but that's good. It still has great techniques in there. I still want to teach it to you guys. And then all this stuff that I'm using new brands on will be coming to you guys in the new year, okay? So thank you guys for hanging out. Happy New Year. Be safe, you guys, and I will catch you guys next Thursday.